Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to plunge into complex topics and, well, pull out the key nuggets of knowledge so you can become genuinely well-informed. Today, we're tackling business development. It's a term lots of people hear, often just thinking it means, sales. Ooh. But we've got this fantastic commercial English booklet, and it shows there's so much more strategy involved, much more nuance. Our mission today: cut through that noise, maybe surprise you with a few facts, and give you some real, actionable strategies for creating long-term value. Okay, let's unpack this. So, to really get started, let's nail down the foundation. What is business development, according to this source? It says pretty clearly, business development is the creation of long-term value for an organization from customers, markets, and relationships. That phrase, long-term value, really stands out to me. It feels, well, different from just chasing quick wins.
It absolutely is, and that's where the confusion often starts. People mix it up. You mentioned sales. That's more transactional, right? Selling a specific thing right now.
Yeah.
Business development is bigger picture. It's separate from, say, marketing development, which is about getting noticed, or even customer development, which focuses on those lasting win-win relationships. And you've got other areas like HR development, product development, but real business development sort of integrates insights from all of these.
To build something sustainable.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is the sheer variety of ways businesses can grow beyond just, selling more stuff. You could focus on getting more from the customers you already have, or maybe develop a completely new product line, or even sometimes buy out a competitor. It's strategic.
Right. It's about building that solid foundation. And often that foundation starts, well, with the very first interaction, doesn't it? Introductions. The booklet had some really sharp points on this. What were some of the maybe surprising pitfalls people fall into? What's the real goal there?
Well, it points out something interesting. It says the language itself, the exact words you use might not be perfect. People stumble. But your mindsets and attitudes are both evident and influential. That's the key part.
So it's less about perfect grammar and more about the vibe you give off.
Precisely. It's about building that immediate psychological connection, that bit of trust. And there's practical advice, too, like handshakes. If someone offers a hand, you take it. That's customary. And crucially, get their name right straight away. Ask immediately if you didn't catch it.
Not later on.
Right. Waiting can feel dismissive. Asking up front shows you actually care about the individual. There's even that cool anecdote about someone like Richard Branson, founder of Virgin. Apparently, he'd just say, "Hi, I am Richard."
No big titles.
Yeah, it suggests that really senior people sometimes skip the formality. It shows a certain confidence, maybe even humility. But this raises an important question. Once you've done the handshake, got the name, how do you keep that conversation going? How do you stop it from just fizzling out?
Yeah, good point. And that leads us right into something many people, frankly, dread: small talk. But the material is quite positive about it. It says it can be prepared and practiced. It's not just, awkward silence filler.
Definitely not.
It's framed as the essential step before you can build real trust. I like the analogy they use, like a game of table tennis. Quick back and forth.
That's a great way to put it. It's about connection, finding that common ground. And you can prepare. The tips are quite practical. Focus on open-ended questions, ones that need more than a yes or no.
Right. Get him talking.
Exactly. And have a few non-work topics ready. Things like books, read anything good lately, or movies, seen any great films, travel's usually safe, any holiday plans, sports too. And here's a really vital tip from the source. Aim to listen 23 of the time and talk 13.
2/3 listening. That's significant.
It is. It shows genuine interest, makes the other person feel valued, feel heard, and that's what builds rapport.
And that kind of active listening, it's not just politeness, is it? It really feels like the bedrock for trust.
Absolutely.
Which then fuels effective networking. The source had a nice line about networking being often a mix of farming and hunting, commonly more farming than hunting.
I like that. Nurturing relationships over just going for the immediate kill, so to speak.
Exactly. Okay, so we've navigated this first impressions. What comes next? How do you turn that initial spark into something more solid? This brings us to the idea of a lead. And the material makes a really critical distinction here, doesn't it?
It does.
A lead shows interest, sure, but they might not be ready to buy yet. And treating them like a prospect, someone who is ready too soon,
Well, it's like rushing things. It can backfire badly.
that's a perfect way to put it. Rushing is counterproductive. And you also need to think about B2B versus B2C lead generation.
Business to business versus business to consumer. How do they differ?
Well, B2B business to business usually involves longer sales cycles, maybe higher value deals. You're using things like email marketing, LinkedIn, professional networks. B2C targeting consumers is often faster, maybe more emotional decisions. Think advertising, social media, different approaches.
Got it.
And the booklet gives us a useful breakdown of lead types based on how interested they are, helps you gauge their readiness. You've got your MQL, marketing qualified lead, someone who's interacted with your marketing, maybe downloaded something.
Then SQL Sales Qualified Lead. Sales has checked them out. They seem ready for a direct conversation. PQL Product Qualified Lead. This is common with software. They've used a free trial, maybe explored advanced features, showing buying signals through usage.
Right, they're kicking the tires.
Exactly. And finally, Service Qualified Lead, someone interested in services, maybe asking for a consultation. Now, to figure out if a lead is actually ready, many use the BANT framework. Heard of that?
BANT, remind me.
Budget, authority, need, and timing. Does the lead have the budget? Does the person you're talking to have the authority to buy? Is there a genuine need for your solution? And is the timing right for them? It's a systematic way to assess readiness for change, not just ability to pay.
Okay, that makes sense. So once you've qualified a lead using something like BANT, the next step is actually pitching your company, right? And the source emphasizes this isn't just rattling off facts, it's about conveying your unique value proposition, that specific thing that makes you the right choice.
Absolutely. It's about what makes you different and valuable to them.
So what's the best way to frame that pitch, according to the booklet?
It strongly recommends the solution pitch. This is crucial. It's the difference between telling and selling. Telling is just listing features. Our product does X, Y, and Z. Selling is focusing on the benefit or the solution for that specific customer. How does it solve their problem or make their life better?
Can you give an example?
Yeah, the booklet uses a great one about Charlie's Cookie Milk. Telling would be, Charlie's Cookie Milk comes in many flavors, natural ingredients, etc. Just facts. But selling transforms it. We help our customers have a wonderful start to the day with a drink that gives them a treat. See the difference? It's about the customer's experience.
Much more focused on the what's in it for me.
Precisely. The pitch must be relevant to their interests and needs, not just your product sheet. And this connects to another powerful idea mentioned, the power of three.
The power of three.
Yeah, keep your pitch focused. No more than 3 key ideas overall. And if you're using slides, no more than 3 main points or pieces of info per slide.
Why 3?
It seems our brains just process information better in threes. It makes your message clearer, stickier, more memorable. Less is more in this case.
Interesting. Okay, so you've prepared, you've pitched, but it's not always smooth sailing, is it? You hit objections, hesitations.
Oh, absolutely.
The source says these are normal and must be expected. The key isn't to argue or prove them wrong.
No, definitely not.
It's about helping them see it differently. So what's the mindset you need when someone pushes back?
The right attitude is everything here. First rule, don't take it personally. It's business, not usually about you.
Easier said than done sometimes.
True, but essential. Prioritize the relationship over your ego. And always try to understand the real objection. Sometimes what they say isn't the root cause. There's a structured approach suggested called the LAER bonding process. It stands for listen, acknowledge, explore, respond.
LAER.
And listening, obviously crucial. Acknowledging this is key, validating their concern, showing you heard them. Then you explore it, ask questions, and only then do you respond with your perspective or solution.
That acknowledgement step feels important. Skipping it could seem dismissive.
Exactly. And the booklet also talks about how to phrase things agreeing agreeably or disagreeing agreeably. Using phrases like, I see what you're saying about X, and perhaps another way to look at it is, or, but have you considered Y?
Yeah.
It keeps the dialogue open.
Right. What else was fascinating there?
Well, there's this advanced technique, especially useful across cultures, saying no without saying no.
How does that work?
It's about avoiding a blunt refusal that could cause offense or break trust. You might pivot, offer alternatives, or explain limitations gently, rather than just hitting them with a hard no. It requires finesse.
Navigating that requires real skill. What do you think is the biggest mental block for people trying to adopt that kind of approach?
I think it's that gut reaction, like you said earlier, to defend your position immediately, to correct them. It takes real discipline to pause, listen, acknowledge, then explore, before you even think about responding. It's about managing your own impulses.
Right. And that discipline is probably needed for the next big hurdle, too. Closing. The source says many people actually shy away from this. They simply miss the closing process, hoping it will simply happen, often because they fear hearing the word no.
That fear of no is huge. But here's the thing, especially in B2B sales, no is often the expected answer, at least initially.
Really? You should expect a no.
Often, yes. Great salespeople actually plan for rejection. They build it into their process. They know it takes persistence, resilience. They also understand that in B2B, the buyers are professionals doing their job. So the key is to see everything from their perspective. What are their pressures, their goals? Adapt your close to that.
Okay, so don't fear the no, plan for it, and stay customer focused. Are there specific closing techniques mentioned?
Yes, the booklet touches on a few. Let's look at a couple of intriguing ones. There's the puppy dog close. Heard of that?
The puppy dog close? No, sounds cute though.
It kind of is. The idea is you let the customer try out the product or service, like taking a puppy home for the weekend.
Mm.
The hope is they get attached, realize they can't live without it, making the purchase much easier. It lowers the initial barrier.
Ah, the try before you buy principle, essentially.
Exactly, but framed nicely.
Okay.
Then there's the doorknob close. This one's interesting. It happens when you think you've lost the sale. You're literally about to leave, maybe your hand is on the doorknob, and you turn back and ask, almost as an afterthought, just out of interest, what was the real reason you decided not to go ahead?
A last-ditch effort to get honest feedback.
Precisely. Sometimes, relieved of the pressure, the customer gives you the actual blocker, which might be something you can still address. It can sometimes reopen the conversation. But again, it takes guts and empathy.
Wow. Okay, so we've really covered the whole arc here. From understanding what business development is, that long-term value creation, through making those crucial first connections, nurturing interest into leads, pitching effectively, handling those inevitable objections, and finally mastering the close. It all ties back to that core idea.
It really does. And remember that stat from the planning section. It costs 7 times more to secure a new customer than it does to keep the ones you already have.
7 times. That really underscores the long-term part, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's why nurturing those existing relationships, continuous improvement, it's all vital. Business development isn't just a single department. It's a mindset, a blend of strategy and real interpersonal skill.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening right now? Maybe think about these different pieces, the subtle power of how you introduce yourself, the why behind your pitch, not just the what, even that idea of planning for no. How could applying just one of these insights, maybe shifting your approach slightly, change the outcome of your next important conversation? Not just for a quick win, but for building something that lasts. Thank you for joining us on this